Good Easter morning to you. I want to welcome you to the worship gathering of Line Missionary Baptist Church, and we're still under quarantine, so this is a different Easter Sunday than we've ever had before in our lives. This morning, our ministry spotlight is Scott Maness in Argentina, South America. Scott has been down there for a few years now, and he's doing a good work. And so here's the report. Thoughts from Stacy. A month ago, when we wrote our February report, we had no idea how different our lives would look in March. At the beginning of March, schools were starting back after summer break. There were long lines of parents taking their children to the first day of school. The hospital ministry had just started back up, and Scott went with another brother to preach at the hospital. Scott also attended the monthly pastor's prayer meeting. We were still having Bible study at Marcelo's house, and Scott still met with Hugo at the plaza for their weekly Bible study. We were still going to language school and discussing world events. We were still house hunting. Basically, we were all living life as usual. At that point, the pandemic seemed far away on the other side of the planet for us. They were doing all these things before the pandemic. Now, this is a picture of the last hospital visit before the quarantine, and they couldn't go to the hospitals anymore. And then here's Joanna. She's made her own coronavirus mask. Now, many of the area churches announced they were canceling services until further notice because of the worldwide pandemic and the call for social distancing. We still met at Marcelo's for a weekly Wednesday night Bible study, and we tried out a new schedule, giving an extra hour at the beginning of the normal Bible study for me to teach the children's Bible lesson. Everything went well, and even with the extra precautions we took to not spread germs, everyone had a wonderful time. The very next day, March 19th, was Elijah's birthday, and the government announced a nationwide mandatory quarantine starting at midnight. Scott and I went out and bought the necessary supplies for the next couple of weeks, and we never imagined this happening. So how are we doing with the current change of plans? Honestly, we're probably doing pretty well. One of the hardest parts is watching from a distance as our friends and family there in the United States are affected in harder ways than we are. At least we still have toilet paper in the stores here. We're still meeting virtually for our Wednesday night Bible study with the group we normally meet with at Marcelo's house. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Elijah's birthday. And then here they are having the Bible study through probably Zoom, but it's something like that. So just using the same kind of resources that we get to use here in the States. Also, here's some pictures of both our family and Marcelo's family practicing music at our own homes. Usually the musicians get together at Marcelo's home on Mondays to practice for the following Wednesday. We're continuing to meet online with our language instructor each week to keep up our Spanish progress. Elizabeth and I are also having our violin classes virtually. The other children's music and band classes were canceled, but they are practicing at home. We homeschooled anyway, so the kids are continuing in their education. We try to take breaks. We don't have a yard, but we do have a walled section on our roof where the kids can play and get fresh air. We also have a small balcony where Scott and I can retreat for a little break from the kids. We're allowed to leave the house for groceries, and Scott takes care of that for us. Scott also records a daily devotional in Spanish, which you can find on the Spanish website that they have. We are allowed to leave the house for groceries, and Scott takes care of that for us. Scott also records a day. Oh, she must have cut and pasted. Hannah requested down-home country cooking for her birthday. Our big birthday party plans for Hannah's 15th birthday had to be changed. Hannah's heart had been set on a big birthday party sharing a little bit of Texas culture with all her friends here in Argentina. We weren't able to do that party as originally planned due to the quarantine, but she enjoyed all the videos and phone calls from so many of her friends here and in the United States. Thank you to our friends that took time out of your day to wish Hannah a happy birthday. And so birthday cake and bluebonnets. Hannah shaped one of Stacy's felt hats to make a cowboy hat. And the kids played hymns before the children's Bible lesson that last Wednesday night before the quarantine was announced. Here is a Sunday evening Bible study on the roof. And then there's the little one helping Mommy. So how can you help? Well, they have some one-time project needs. They're working on their emergency fund. They have a goal of $6,000, and they're only $2,000 away from that. They have to pay $300 a month for the language school expenses, and they only have a little under $11,000 to go for their vehicle fund. So it's very exciting. We already sponsor or support this ministry, Scott Maness and his family down in Argentina. But those of you who are joining us online and are looking for a missionary to support Scott Maness, you can send checks to Neville's Chapel, Missionary Baptist Church, P.O. Box 1334, Mount Pleasant, Texas 75455. Their field address is 25 De Mayo, 1544 PA, CP 5000, Cordoba capital, Argentina, if you want to send them a letter. Or they have their cell phones up here, their email, and then you can receive the reports by going to the website argentinabaptist.org. So if I'm going too fast, then just go scrub back on your video and push pause, and you can get all this information. So we're going to have prayer for Scott Maness and his family, and pray for the world as we go through this pandemic together. And I'm going to ask if our usher will come forward. We're going to have prayer, and then we're going to take up our offering. Sam, would you please lead us in prayer?
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all the work you did for us. Thank you for caring for us and saving us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Okay, while Sam is taking up the offering, we may have some church members at home that are wondering how they can get their offerings here with the distancing and not being able to gather together. Our address for that is County Line Missionary Baptist Church, 3375 Highway 84, Timpson, Texas 75975. All right. I'm going to turn the service over to my wife Susie, and she's going to lead us in some resurrection celebration music.
Why, Lord, do you stand far away in times of trial and pain? The wicked ones I serve a risen Savior, He's in the world today. I know that He is living, whatever men may say. I see His hand of mercy, I hear His voice of cheer. And just the time I need Him, He's always near. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. In all the world around me, I see His loving care. And though my heart grows weary, I never will despair. I know that He is leading through all the stormy blasts. The day of His appearing will come at last. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Rejoice, rejoice, O Christian, lift up your voice and sing eternal hallelujahs to Jesus Christ the King, the hope of all who seek Him, the help of all who find. None other is so loving, so good and kind. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Amen. bless you, Lord.